ready. Let's start the people off right. Let's jump into number one.
Do politics drive the decisions at the Justice Department today?
Politics have no place in the work of the Civil Rights Division.
3 months ago, the New Mexico governor announced a 30-day ban on citizens' right to carry a concealed firearm in Albuquerque and the county that Albuquerque sits in. What did the Justice Department do when the governor did that unconstitutional order? What did the DOJ do in response to that unconstitutional action from the governor of New Mexico?
I am generally aware of the matter that you are referring to, but gun control is not a core issue that we handle.
Second Amendment, a fundamental right like the First Amendment, it's pretty important, isn't it?
These are very important issues to the department.
Well, tell me what the Justice Department did when this happened, when the governor imposed this unconstitutional ban.
I'm happy to bring your question back to my colleagues.
You don't know that one either.
So let's sum that one up. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
The DOJ holds our Second Amendment rights so close to the vest, Tim. It's so precious to them. It's like Schmeagol in the Ring. They hold it and they say, "My precious,"
Yes.
and they would never do anything because they love it, and it's an important fundamental constitutional right.
Right. But they don't play politics. Well.
But they don't play politics. Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Mm-mm.
They won't admit to playing politics. I mean,
Are you implying she came up there with a preset answer for everything and lied and fell back on platitudes?
that's all they do is lie and misdirect and not answer questions.
But they're not political, though.
No. They're just wildly inept and political.
And also political. Genuinely, how I don't even know the right way to say this. You know what? Let's just do it this way. How broken do you have to be to legitimately go in there and go, no, we're not politically motivated at all, because that would be wrong. And I don't know anything about anything, but I can ask somebody for you. I'm so helpful. I mean, it's like you're watching this puppet game where the left has their hands so far up their butts that they're just talking and saying, no, say this, because you can't be in trouble for being stupid. And then the people on the right are going, can you please just answer the question? Well, you're not going to, so I have the answer anyway.
How about the First Amendment? How about the First Amendment? Is that important? Yes, these are very important issues to us. What about the Second Amendment? We're not political.
We're not at all.
Yeah.
And God, dude, but I love what Jim did, because he brought up the gift that keeps on giving. That is Lujan Grisham, the governor of New Mexico, literally the gift that keeps on giving for the fight against gun control. Because it's a very valid point.
It is.
What did the DOJ do? Because after all, she's vaguely familiar with hearing something about that. She doesn't really follow these things.
No, because she's not political. Yeah,
because she's not political.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page. You know what? Let's continue with her not being political in clip number 2.
You don't know what the DOJ did in response to the governor of New Mexico's action. Well, here's what the county sheriff said. He held a press conference saying that this thing was unconstitutional, unenforceable, and incapable of stopping and curbing gun violence. The New Mexico Attorney General, who's a Democrat, said this thing will not have any impact on public safety and does not pass constitutional muster. So when the Democrat Attorney General of New Mexico said it doesn't fit the Constitution, but you guys at DOJ don't do a darn thing? Is that what you're telling me?
Politics have no place in the work of the Justice Department, Chairman, but
are you aware of anything the Justice Department did to that unconstitutional order from the governor of New Mexico?
Not in the Civil Rights Division, Chairman, but I can certainly bring your question.
You're an important person in the Justice Department. Did the Justice Department do anything?
Yes, we enforce the laws that Congress gave us, Chairman.
No, in this case, did the Justice Department do anything?
I will bring that question back to my colleagues.
I'll give you the answer. They didn't. They didn't file an amicus. They didn't put any statement of interest. They didn't do a darn thing.
They're not political.
Because the Second Amendment isn't a civil right. I mean, it's about guns. And
yes.
Yeah.
It's about safety. It's about safety and keeping us safe and safe. And safe, and they're not political, but they don't know, but they might know, but she has the right person to ask, but it's okay. We'll figure this out, because it's their job to fulfill the laws that this body passes.
Yeah. We enforce the laws of the land, basically the federal laws of the land. Well, except for the Second Amendment, we don't get political.
Except the ones that we don't want to enforce.
Right.
because it's after all, we enforce what we want to, not what we're obligated to by the law. That is the stupidest. And I know both parties do it, and I know
Yeah.
all presidencies and all administrations do it. But legitimately, can we just be for real for a sec? That is the stupidest approach.
I think she pulled
Well-
muscles dodging answers, dude.
She did. But she's very limber. They loosen up. They do calisthenics to avoid. Okay, get ready. This one's gonna be a tough one. We got to get past this laser.
She was over there
Dude,
doing
it's-
some real Bruce Lee moves, man. Woo, missed that one. Woo, dodge
It's-
that question. Woo.
Dodge that one. Nailed it. Hey, what do we do? Oh, we enforce the laws that Congress passes. I swear on everything.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't be I could not be on a congressional committee like this, because I would lose my mind.
Well, she didn't answer completely. What she meant to say was she selectively enforces the laws.
Ah, that's a key word,
Yes.
Tim. That's a key word. You're always so astute. That's what I love about you. I do love about you. But in all seriousness, we've got 3 clips total, but what we've done is 2, and that's basically Jim Jordan's pointing out the fact that you guys didn't really do anything on this, which by itself is kind of an insult to one of the core fundamental, I don't know, amendments, the Bill of Rights, those things. Dusty.
Yeah.
They're such a pain in the butt. But then he actually compares to a real world example. And this one, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, because this is where it all comes full circle. And I love full circle. So let's go to number 3.
It shows, I think, how political you are, because when Texas passed a pro-life bill on September 1st, 2021, 8 days later, the Department of Justice announces an investigation into that bill. Now, this is what amazes me. That's a bill that actually passed the state House, passed the state Senate, was signed by the governor, and you guys are in there contesting that 8 days later. But you have something in New Mexico, which is an obvious direct assault on the Second Amendment, and it's an order from the governor. It didn't go through the legislature. The governor does it, and the Department of Justice does nothing.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's odd.
She had to know that's where he was going.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because
Maybe
after
not.
all, she's not political.
That's true.
She's not.
Yeah.
And so she would not have seen the traps and the pitfalls of where he was going, because that wasn't obvious at all.
No.
Oh my dude.
Yeah, he totally owned her on
so
that. And
obvious.
yeah. But, I'm just glad that the DOJ is not political and that their civil rights
They aren't.
division is concerned with
Yeah.
civil rights,
Okay.
like those enshrined in the Constitution and Bill of Rights,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception of the Second Amendment, because that would be too political for them.
Hey, but Tim, didn't you hear that those are core fundamental rights? And it is, after all, their responsibility to enforce the laws passed by that body. And they're not political. And she'll have to ask somebody.
Well, I'll just take that to my peers. No, I can answer that question for you. They did nothing.
They did nothing. And then they turn around, like, legitimately the time frame, because you've seen this over and over and over and over again with this administration over the last 3 years. They will always bring the DOJ to bear when something happens they don't like in state levels. They did it with the SAPA in Missouri. They did it with immigration in Texas. They did it with abortion in Texas. Like, they do it all the time.
They do it at school board meetings.
They do. They do it. They do it
Dispatch
any
federal
way that they
officers.
possibly
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
But this, no, that's just the governor. What's the worry?
Yeah.
It's not like it didn't pass laws or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
It's typical leftist nonsense, and it totally highlights and illustrates the agenda that this administration has, and it's top down, right? Every single
yeah.
thing that they do centers around a heavy political agenda. It's not about what's right and wrong, what's legal and what's illegal. It's all about, well, does this fit our narrative? Does this fit our political agenda? And then this clown has the audacity to sit there and say, we're not a political organization. When we have 3 years of political hack jobs carried out by the DOJ.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just unbelievable. And that's what he's driving home at. And the fact that she's sitting there playing dumb is it's just pouring salt on an open wound. It's an insult to injury.
Yeah, dude, it's so asinine.
These are
it is so asinine.
These are your leaders, folks. Your leaders.
Yeah. No, that's the assistant leader. That's the assistant attorney general.
And she's in a position of power, and she gets a fat paycheck and probably is unfireable just like every other federal employee.
That's true. But she's not political.
Yeah.
Remember that. And she doesn't know a lot, but she can ask her peers because she's in the civil rights division. Oh, man. I think we hit that one home pretty hard.